Welcome, my name is Jason Jans, one of the founders here at Cross Purpose. We are headquartered in Denver, Colorado, and we are an economic empowerment nonprofit that walks alongside our neighbors from poverty to prosperity. So what we want to talk about today is a little bit about the work we do and the network we've created to help people move along on this journey. We have adopted this metaphor of the mountain to show the journey that we go on with people. Obviously, we live in the great state of Colorado with the beautiful Rocky Mountains as a backdrop, but that's also because a metaphor for the journey that we've seen hundreds of families take over the last decade in our city. The journey that they're going on is a journey from poverty to generational wealth. Often when I speak on this in our community, people will say, yeah, I don't believe in give a fish, I believe in teaching to fish. Well, we actually believe that only gets people halfway up the mountain. Not only do we have to provide some aid for people, give them some education, but we also have to see them actually procure a good job where they can actually live in self-sufficiency. But also we want to take them to the next step where they actually can become part owner of the pond and create generational wealth to pass on to their next generation. There are 4 tools then to move people up the mountain: emergency aid, which is our safety net, relief work, and the work of many nonprofits. We have education, which is a plethora of options from credentialing to 4-year degrees. Employment is actually getting the job, but then at the top is financial empowerment, economic stability, and wealth building for their families. The problem, as I don't have to explain too much anymore, is people aren't making it up to the top of the mountain. We have an affordable housing crisis. We have wages that are not keeping up with the cost of living. And there are a dozen other factors as to why people aren't making it to the top of the mountain. So then when I talk to people about this model, I ask them the question, when did you reach the top of the mountain? In most rooms, most people have reached the top of the mountain by the age of 30. That means they've either purchased their first home or they've started investing in retirement. Those are wealth building activities. Well, at Cross Purpose, the average age of our students is 30 years old. So I say to people, if you reach the top of the mountain by the age of 30, would you help somebody else move up the mountain? Because you know what, if you think about it, most of us, including myself, somebody helped them up the mountain. It could be your grandparents helped save money so you could go to college. It could be your brother who said, hey brother, we need to be the first in our generation to actually get to college and get a good job. It could have been a job connection that got you the job that brought you to the place where you're at currently today. It could be just our American system of education that helped you get there. But almost everybody I talk to agrees, I didn't get to the top of the mountain alone. So then we should love our neighbors and help them get to the top of the mountain. But how does this work in American communities? In the book Understanding Philanthropy, they divide every American community into 3 sectors. The philanthropic sector, which is made up of donors, foundations, churches, faith-based communities, and nonprofits. The private sector, which is business, and the public sector, which is our government. Actually, when you look at it in American communities, all 3 sectors are working at all levels of the mountain. In my experience, philanthropy and the public sector tend to dominate levels 1 and 2 on the mountain. But then we need people to be employed at companies in our city. 85 out of 100 employees in our state work in the private sector. So we really need the private sector to be healthy and strong and hiring and empowering people to move up the mountain. But then when it gets to step 4 on the mountain, when we look at who does that work, it's sometimes blank stares when we talk about working with those in poverty. Because most people don't think of the entire journey, the comprehensive journey from the bottom of the mountain to the top for our neighbors. And we believe a beautiful picture of love is to walk somebody all the way on the journey so that they can actually achieve financial empowerment and security and pass on wealth to the next generation. But then inside that, we have a network of providers. We have divided those into 3 main categories. The first category, we call them the nichers. And this is usually what most people think about when they think of their favorite nonprofit. Nichers are experts at solving specific problems and seeking to serve as many people as possible. They are specialists, fully equipped to help individuals overcome particular barriers with excellence and care. I can think of dozens in our community. In fact, we work with over 200 niche-based nonprofits that just specialize in their specific area. One of our nonprofits provides professional clothing for women entering the professional work environment. and they do a phenomenal job of providing the clothing, a fashion designer, but they don't really do skills-based education and job placement and wealth building. But they're awesome at the niche that they play in their community. And you can already think of some in your community who play similar roles as well. My challenge to nichers is to think about, do you have a network where you can do a warm handoff to other providers that can help your neighbors the next step up on the mountain? Then we have the negotiators. The negotiators are experts at policy, and they make the mountain easier for people to climb. They pave the way for smoother, more just ascents by influencing legislation, funding flows, and institutional practices. So we all who are deeply involved in this work deeply appreciate the work of negotiators because they often do work that provides benefits to a whole group of people who are experiencing economic hardship. And then we have the navigators. The navigators don't necessarily focus on a specific issue like the nichers do. They don't focus on a policy per se, but they are experts at pathways, and they take responsibility for a person's success as they navigate up the mountain. And we are thrilled to partner with many of those in our community. So we view it as, if Maria were to walk into our front door, which 30 students did today, we believe that we're entering into a social contract with them where we're going to lovingly walk alongside them in partnership with our nichers and negotiators to help make their journey as efficient and empowering as possible on their journey out of poverty into prosperity. My challenge to navigators is we just need more navigators in American communities that will walk with people long-term on their journey. The programs we have here at Cross Purpose to do that, we call them Launch, Leader, and Legacy. Launch is an online program that gives people basic soft skills instruction and helps them get a plan together for their life to move up the mountain. Our Leader program is our skills-based program that teaches soft skills, hard skills, and places people in career-level jobs. And then our Legacy program helps build wealth with our graduates by providing them a 3-year program where they get a $10,000 cash benefit fund, matching $1 for $1, that will help them with a down payment on a home, investing in their retirement. We'll also help through one of our partners, our niche-based partners, give them a 2- and 4-year college degree, fully paid for at one of 3 different universities. Also, for each of their children that they have custody of, we will match a college savings account for them up to $2,500. Inside of the Legacy program, we also have a business and nonprofit accelerator called the Change Agency, where families can take their ideas of how they want to do good or do a business in their community and raise capital to get that business started over a period of time with solid coaching and capital to back that up. This mountain comes home to me because it was actually born out of a relationship with our actual next door neighbor, Tiffany. She was stuck in a job where she didn't see any upward mobility. She became the first student in the program. She's a smart woman. She had a management mindset, and she really then took a job managing a Starbucks, then was recruited by FedEx out of that store. She became the first black woman in Colorado to run a FedEx store, and it became super profitable. Now she manages the public storage campuses across our city, and for her 40th birthday, purchased her very own home. And now she's on our board here, and she has had a huge impact in our community. But it took Tiffany 10 years to move from the bottom of the mountain to the top of the mountain. But I'm happy to report after 10 years of working on the mountain with our neighbors, we just had Tatiana, who moved from the first day of the Leader program to owning her own home within 36 months. Our heart for American communities is that networks could be created from all 3 sectors and from nichers, negotiators, and navigators to come together to help form this path to help our neighbors thrive. So who are you for your neighbors?